you who have been watching us week to week. I'm getting a lot of great reports that you're enjoying these quick communications, the way that we're hanging out together. I'm doing this to motivate you, to help you, to maybe just drop a thought into your mind that will help you throughout your day, throughout your week. And hopefully these things will begin to build for you. Recently, I've been taking some courses in the area that I work in on a lot of days, which is the area of team building, the areas of strategic planning and goal setting, leadership development. And in doing so, I become aware of my strengths, what I'm good at, and my weaknesses, what I haven't really trained to. And that's what I say about weaknesses. Weaknesses are weakness until you make them strengths, until you work on yourself to make yourself a little bit stronger in those areas. I know myself when I used to go to the gym a lot. I still go to the gym, but not like I used to. And I would find areas that I was strong. I was always real strong in my legs. So I love to work my legs, you know. And then I wasn't as strong in my chest and sometimes in my shoulder areas, especially the front of my shoulders. And it was an area that I would avoid working on until it made sense for me to get stronger there. And then I began to work on it. And then I realized that if I worked on it, what was once a weakness could become a strength. So being aware of those things is so important. And I mentioned physical because a lot of us really understand physicality. I'm noticing now, I'm watching people as they get older into their 60s and 70s that they're not as sure-footed. You know, they fall over easier. If they get knocked off balance, they stumble and they fall. And a lot of times they're not as aware of it as they might be. You know, I see men in their 60s trying to play sports like tennis or paddle tennis or even golf, and they'll find themselves struggling with their balance. So it's important as we move forward in life that we are aware, that we're aware of these things. And so I use like a really strong biblical tool called the fruit of the Spirit to keep myself balanced, to keep myself aware of really my weaknesses or my vulnerabilities. That might be a better way of wording it, because on a given day, if I'm juggling a lot of things, or if I've been through some tough situations, like recently my father passed away, and right now my godfather, who I was raised with, is in hospice, and he is fighting for his life, and these things are on my mind. Of course, I've got situations. It's getting colder now in the winter, and I've got situations here in the city where some of the members of my church might not have heat, which of course concerns me. And being aware of those things, I think about these things, helps me to plan my day, helps me to prioritize my day, but also helps me to watch my natural tendencies to protect myself from the emotional or the mental heaviness or the emotional discomfort that I might feel throughout my day. So what I do is I use this tool. I was going to bring it to your attention. I use this tool called the fruit of the Spirit, and that fruit of the Spirit has 9 of them. And so today happens to be, I pick one fruit every single day, and today happens to be my goodness day, or my generosity day. And so I color everything that I'm going to do today with the word generosity. Yesterday was my gentleness day, or compassion day. And so tomorrow will be my faithfulness day as I work through these 9 fruits of the Spirit. But what this does for me is it doesn't allow me to get into a rut. Every day has a little bit of a different lens that I put on approach my day and keeps me developing in all of the different areas. And so I think about this and being aware of a choice that I've made in the morning, a choice that I sometimes make the night before as I get into the rhythm of these choices. Now, this helps me because I am like a little child coloring between the lines, outside the lines on a piece of paper. I am coloring my day. I'm being aware that I've chosen to look at my day on purpose. I've made a conscious choice to be aware that today I'm going to be in every situation generous. So therefore, I'm proactive. I'm choosing to insert into my life, my relationships, my conversations, my writing, my teaching. Tonight I'll be teaching at church. All these things will be a generous day. And so as I work through these, the awareness becomes, I become more proactive and a lot less reactive. So somebody may ask me, how was your day? Well, how was my day? I made the decision that my day was going to be generous at the beginning of the day. So I'm going to be looking for ways to be generous to whoever I come in contact with. I'm going to be looking for ways to be generous purposely, maybe by making some phone calls and helping someone, or by when I get to church tonight, maybe I'll notice someone who themselves could use a little help, and it'll be on my mind to be generous. And because of it, I'll probably be prepared. Maybe I'll have a little extra money in my pocket, or maybe uh, I'll make time. Maybe they could use some encouragement or some guidance on a tough decision that they're making, and we can work through that. So the 9 different days also helps me because 9 is weird. It's like it's not 7, like 7 days in a week. Like Monday's not always the same. The 9 kind of causes the cycles to be a little bit, I guess. It's not as you know lined up with the 7-day week. So every day is always different for me. So it starts with love. I remember one of my love days recently was my first day in the prisons of Mississippi. And I remember having a kind of a tough day that day because, first world tough for me. I flew into Memphis, Tennessee, and I had to drive to Parchment or Cleveland, Mississippi, about a 2-hour drive away. But when I arrived to pick up my rental car, they didn't have one. And they said it would be a 3 to 4 hour wait for me to get a car, which was to me immediately something that was A, unacceptable, but B, that just wasn't going to work for me because I had to be somewhere within 2 to 3 hours to prepare to speak at that 4 hour mark. So I arrived at like 2, and I was going to be speaking to about 1,500 of the inmates at about 6:30. And so my immediate flesh reaction was I wanted to say, look, you got to figure something out and really jump on this person at the thrifty, uh, you know, counter. And immediately that choice that I had made in the morning that this was going to be a love day, and I had the prisoners on my mind, and I was going to really be loving in my message that night to the prisoners. So I didn't want to taint that. So with that, I just blessed this woman behind Thrifty and was able to walk down. You know how all the rental car counters are side by side, and I walked down the counters. And of course, some of the other car companies didn't have cars either. But I got to Avis, and they had a car. It was about 3 times as expensive as the one that I had rented. But I got a car and I got where I had to go, and I didn't put a dent on my chosen day. Today was my love day, and this fact that I couldn't get a car through Thrifty for whatever reason, and I'm sure it wasn't the fault of this young lady who was working at the counter, wasn't going to take me off my day. I was aware, very aware, that it was up to me how I felt, how I reacted, and the important parts of my day. I wasn't going to, for me, in the realm of the spirit, I wasn't going to put a black mark on my day and then walk into the pulpit that night and then try to be a loving person. If you're a loving person, you got to kind of be a loving person at least for one day. Can you do it? Can you make that choice? Can you be aware that you really are in charge? Can you be aware of all the distractions and I guess situations and circumstances that come up in your day that constantly try to determine what you think about or how you act or how you relate? Being aware that you really are in charge of your emotions, you really are in charge of your choices, and I'm also very aware that when I put these lenses on, that day was a love day, today's a generosity day. When I put these lenses on and I'm choosing what I'm thinking about and I'm choosing how I want to feel and how I'm feeling, that then when new information comes to me, sometimes something will come up where, a bill sneaks up on me or an expense sneaks up on me that I didn't think about, was not planning for, that I can, that can affect me. It can annoy me. It can affect how I think, and if I'm not careful, it'll affect how I interact with the next person or persons that I come in contact with, and a it'll create a domino effect of negativity that that I don't want. That person, the person that's coming to see me or the person that I'm interacting with doesn't deserve. And so now I become really aware, because every one of those 9 fruits of the spirit is very, very um, positive. Love, joy, peace, long suffering, right? Compassion and gentleness are the same. Goodness and generosity are the same. And then there's faithfulness, humility, or I call submission to these higher principles and submission to God. And then the final one is self-control. All those are very, very uh, positive choices that I'm making. I'm not choosing, hey, this is my anger day. I get to be, this is my bitterness day. This is my regret day. I'm not doing that. I'm being aware that I get to choose, that I get to uh, be proactive about how I conduct my day that day. And because of it, when things happen and stuff does happen, I mean, people are having a bad days around me. They're not functioning in these same kinds of principles. So you have to kind of roll with whatever their day is doing, whatever however they're managing their day. But at the same time, I'm constantly aware that I have to give, that I'm in charge of what I think about, how I feel, and how I interact. And a lot of times people are a little bit put off by the fact that no matter what they bring to me, they can actually see the delay or the little bit of thought that is happening in my life because I'm aware of what I'm about to say or do. And I do want to be a positive influence. I want to be a helper. I don't want to be an exacerbator of toxicity, a multiplier of pain. You know, we're seeing a lot of things in the news now, and we need to be more and more aware of the fact that that news should not be tainting who we are. Well, let's decide who we are each and every day. And I just want you to have this tool, the 9 fruits of the Spirit. It's in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22, and begin to do that. And I'd like to hear from you about how it begins to change the way you begin to think and change the way you begin to build and be more efficient and more productive. And you have more of a progressive improvement, progressive development. You'll have more progress, more productivity, more efficiency, more growth. These are the things that will come from this, and you won't have this effect of collateral damage as much, where you have things happening to you. You know, you won't be saying things you don't mean as often. You won't be saying things as mean or angry as often, and you'll begin to find yourself in a place where you're actually charting your course rather than having other people set your agenda or set your circumstance. So thank you. Thank you for watching Morning Motivations with Dan Stratton. Uh, Thanks for being with us today, and enjoy your day. I'll be on again next week.